Right now, you're saying Iran does not want a ceasefire.
We are not asking for a ceasefire. And we don't see any reason why we should negotiate with the US when we negotiated with them twice, and every time they attacked us at the middle of negotiations. So there is no request for a ceasefire by us, and there is no request for the negotiation with the US from us. We have never sent any messages to them. So you can see the quality of our missiles, how much they are upgraded after the last war, because we learned lots of lessons. And we are prepared for any other eventuality, even a ground invasion.
Major escalation between the United States and Iran after an American submarine torpedoed an Iranian warship in the Indian Ocean on March 4th. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi now issued a stark warning to the US. In a post on X, Araghchi said the US will come to bitterly regret the precedent it has set. Araghchi called that strike an atrocity at sea. He said the Iranian warship was a guest of the Indian Navy and warned Washington that it would bitterly regret setting such a dangerous precedent. Araghchi also accused the US of launching an unprovoked attack on a ship not engaged in combat operations. He argued that targeting a naval vessel in international waters, particularly one returning from a diplomatic and military engagement, represented a grave violation of international norms governing maritime conduct. The incident occurred off the southern coast of Sri Lanka as the Iranian warship was sailing back from naval engagements in India. The vessel had roughly 130 sailors on board, and at least 80 people were killed in the attack. The sinking marks a dramatic escalation in tensions. This is apparently the first time since World War II that the United States has sunk an enemy warship using a torpedo. The strike has raised concerns about the expanding scope of the ongoing conflict and the possibility of wider naval confrontations across strategic sea lanes in the Indian Ocean region.
Iran cannot outlast us. We're going to ensure through violence of action and our offensive capabilities and our defensive capabilities, as I said, that we set the tone and the tempo of this fight. That's why stories and speculation about different things that try to make it look like we're limited in what we can do. The only limits we have in this is President Trump's desire to achieve specific effects on behalf of the American people. And that's why we don't talk about, you can say 4 weeks, but it could be 6, it could be 8, it could be 3. Ultimately, we set the pace and the tempo. The enemy is off balance, and we're going to keep them off balance. And we know their ability to shoot versus our ability to defend. That difference gets wider and wider every day.
The United States military has released dramatic visuals of a direct submarine strike on an Iranian warship in the Indian Ocean. Pentagon footage shows the moment a U.S. submarine launched a torpedo that struck and sank the Iranian naval vessel Iris Dena. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth confirmed the attack, calling it the first American torpedo strike on an enemy warship since World War II.
Our defensive shield is equally formidable. The most sophisticated air and missile defense network ever fielded. Thousands of Iranian missiles and drones have been intercepted and vaporized. Tens of thousands of American and allied lives protected. We have pushed every counter-UAS system possible forward, sparing no expense or capability. And like I said, this does not mean we can stop everything. But we ensured that the maximum possible defense and maximum possible force protection was set up before we went on offense.
Can you give us an update on what the administration knows, what you know now about the reported strike on a girls' school in southern Iran on Saturday?
All I can say is that we're investigating that. We, of course, never target civilian targets, but we're taking a look and investigating that. Red tie in front.
Just on the basis that with the information you would have, your reconnaissance abilities, ability to gather information, I mean, it's several days on now. So is there any clarity on whose munition this was?
We're investigating it. Thank you.
Secretary, so there are reports that the administration is considering arming Iranian Kurdish groups. So could you please clarify that whether any such plan has been authorized and whether Congress or regional partners has been notified and consulted?
All I would say is none of our objectives are premised on the support or the arming of any particular force. So what other entities may be doing, we're aware of, but our objectives aren't centered on that. Green.
Given comments that the U.S. forces might be deployed if necessary, under what specific conditions would you determine that deploying U.S. boots on the ground is necessary, and how would such a decision support and advance your stated strategic goals?
Well, I'm not going to comment on U.S. boots on the ground. I think that's a question for policymakers, and I don't make policy, I execute policy.
You touched on this in your opening remarks, but I'm hoping you could expand on it a bit. It's been reported that Iran might be trying to outlast our ability to intercept their missiles. It sounds like you guys are saying they don't have the ability to do so. Is that the case? Can they outlast us and their ability to do that?
Iran cannot outlast us. We're going to ensure through violence of action and our offensive capabilities and our defensive capabilities, as I said, that we set the tone and the tempo of this fight. That's why stories and speculation about different things that try to make it look like we're limited in what we can do. The only limits we have in this is President Trump's desire to achieve specific effects on behalf of the American people. And that's why we don't talk about, you can say 4 weeks, but it could be 6, it could be 8, it could be 3. Ultimately, we set the pace and the tempo. The enemy is off balance, and we're going to keep them off balance. And we know their ability to shoot versus our ability to defend. That difference gets wider and wider every day. Our defense gets better. Their offensive capabilities diminish. As we are going into ammunitions that we, as we said, have tens of thousands of and can drop unlimited supplies on with even more effects than the standoff munitions we have now, which is why when we say the throttle's going up, the throttle's going up, and it's going to stay on high. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
According to the Pentagon, the strike took place Tuesday night in the Indian Ocean. The Iranian frigate was reportedly returning from India after participating in the 2026 International Fleet Review in Vishakhapatnam when it was targeted. Moments after impact, the vessel began taking on water before ultimately sinking off the southern coast of Sri Lanka.